talking about, but this is at turn 7, which is the Le Mans chicane, and there's very strict protocol, Peter, about what you have to do there if you jump the curves or get the wrong side of the curves, and there's some cones and bollards out there, and Paul Barfield was explaining all that in the driver meeting.
Vinny Speeds is up
on.
5.61 East Down.
A warning it's just disappeared from race control. I think it was the 93. My apologies there. But it hasn't resulted in a penalty. Everything in life got about timing. It gave me the opportunity to talk about that. There's no grass there anymore. Can't please all the people all the time. There's plenty of people who say the grass was dangerous. Lost so many grass on it the last year. The rest of it's gone now. But there are strict instructions to the drivers about what happens if you do jump the curves or go the wrong way.
Yeah, it's made very, very clear in the driver's briefing.
Mission Francorchamps is P5 up 4.92.
And whatsoever, Bob Barfield's been running the show in IMSA from the race control standpoint for a very long time, and he knows driving inside and out. And in race control, there are several drivers with quite a CV. Many of them won their race overall before 2009 winner David Donohue's in there in race control, and 5-time winner Scott Pruitt as well. So we'll get one past them.
Johannes van Overbeek.
Hence 310 bus stop chicane is P9.
Johnny Hunt. Johnny Hunt it is, yes, absolutely. They're just to our left. It was indeed Nicky Ellerly for the ARX06 93 in second place, now dropped to 12.5 seconds.
RLO is
Just a few
P12.
moments ago, we were having to spike. Left front.
Vinny Speeds in Rivage is P1 up 1.20.
Bottom joint, maybe? But was it the air intake for the brake? They're cleaning out the inner part of the air intake for the brake legs, possibly the brake temperatures on the left front.
Hard to say, very, very hard to say. Brian Marine, I'm sure, is twisting some arms in AO Racing to ask what the story
Vinny Speeds is up
and
1.12
team
in
owner
Full
at the wheel right now. What they have done in IMSA, not only with this LMP2 car with Spike the Dragon, but particularly with Rexy, the winner of the GTE Pro Championship last year for Lauren Heinrich. In fact, Speedy High is going to come up and lap the GTD Pro car of Heinrich right now. So Spike's about to say to Rexy, can I come on by, please? And Rexy's even got on his teeth at the front of the car. He's got a gold tooth for winning the championship last year.
Vinny Speeds is up 1.78 in Stabling.
When Tech Raceway at Laguna Seca, if you remember, and they've added to, and then the championship gold tooth is a little bit different. I know, but listen, it brings people in. I know there's people who think it's a bit childish, but I actually like it because it's something to talk about, and if I'm honest, if it's bringing people into the sport, that's all I care about, and I think it's fantastic.
Well, I was speaking
the qualifying
to
session is
Ruling,
now
who
in
does all the
overtime.
PR for AO Racing, and she said that the amount of people that come up to her, if they see her wearing her AO jacket, she'll say, you know, my kids now are involved in the sport. Totally. They wouldn't have been otherwise. But the best one was, a gentleman came up to her and said, my mother, who's in her 70s, never liked even motorsport, let alone sports car racing, and now she watches every IMSA race because she wants to follow Rexy. So there you go. It's not just from young fans, but to fans of other levels of life experience as well.
Just as LMP2 cars have made their first call into pit lane, we are now getting set for GTP to make their first stop of this 24-hour race. First up, I'm expecting to be the number 6 from Francorchamps Motorsports, I believe. Matt Campbell will likely stay in the car. We're also going to get the call from the number 40 machine, the Cadillac. The 10 came in first, so a couple of takers right now.
Race session is at Spa Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Allward is 6th. Allward is P6.
Don't see any driver changes being executed. These early runners right now just trying to stay comfortable and make sure that
And
they've got
Lenson is demonstrate the 6th.
That's right, good reporter Jamie Howe back with us again for the first time in a handful of years. 2020 was the last time she was on and that was the year that the
Albert
800
Albany is P5.
distance record was set. I'm not saying it was anything to do with Jamie.
Albert
but I
lost
do like
5th
little
to
battles.
Atlanta.
So yeah, let's see how it goes later on. We start as well.
SH4NE87
GTB
runs
on the pit lane, and here they come. That's down to far end pit lane. Let's pick up the crowd strike pit lane.
And it is the number 24.
RLO
Mantle
is
coming down pit lane now. It is a complete injury for him as the 10, the 40, and the 6 have all made their way down to pit exit. I've heard on the radio this will be a energy-only stop for them as well. Pretty happy with the way that that car is performing here with the center on the racetrack. Very quick to say now on pit lane. Bobby Rahal, they're going to have to continue adjusting just like everybody else. There's still a lot of racing to go. Also, into pit lane, the number
10 minutes remaining in the
Wayland
session.
Engineering sister. Number 7 from Francorchamps. All of these
And the
complete
Esteves
pit stops
Establo
right
is
now.
third.
One of the things that
0.2
Nick Tandy, whoever
behind
talked
Rick
to him a few moments ago, one of the things he said is we really just need to learn over the couple of stints and just see what we have stacked up with everybody else. Maybe comment their car wasn't as quick as they would like.
RLO
That Porsche
Establo
plant
is
at the
P8
moment, but
battling
it is a
Mrs.
very
Speeds.
long race. Great pit stop for the number 24, and they're already making their way down pit lane, John.
Jamie Howe
RLO lost
watching
9th
what
to Jimmy
looked
Light.
to be a very standard stop, and that was a good turnaround.
Mrs. Speeds and Blanchimont is P8.
Lamborghini
0.1 behind
no changes
SH4NE87.
either to that accurate LX, a bit of vibration from that. Lamborghini's in the tricolor ring.
Mrs.
with
Speeds
Ryan
lost
Murray.
P8 to Jimmy Light.
It's a beautiful looking
All
car.
Britain
It's
bus stop
Daytona
chicane is
debut, by
7.
the way, at least its race
0.4
debut. It's done a lot
behind
of testing here over the last
SH4NE87.
year or so. No driver change, just a change of the right side of Michelin's at this stage. Now the mechanic taking a nice rag and cleaning up the windshield for the driver as the fuel goes in. Just the 2-tire change, that's part of the tire conservation
entering the pits
strategy
is
that
P11.
we've been talking about.
And the
New team
Esteves is
running this
P2.
car this year is now
0.3
Riley
behind
Motorsports has come on board, and it's a quiet getaway with the hybrids, of course, and then the engine fires to life halfway
And
down
the
pit lane.
Esteves passed Vinny Speeds for first.
So that looks like there's
Vinny Speeds and Lacombe is
cars that
second.
are very much on
0.1
the
behind
track.
Andy
Lundqvist
Esteves.
just coming in from the race lead now.
Vinny
after
Speeds
30
passed Andy Esteves for first.
And also the 25 BMWs will be able to go the longest in that opening stand.
Second Ribach is P2. 0.4 behind Vinny Speeds.
Likewise, the 25 of Sheldon Van Linden, who had to start from the back after an issue in qualifying.
Well, the race starts at 20 minutes to
Andy
the
Esteves
hour.
is fourth. Best lap is a 2:45.690. 26:26 off the fastest lap.
40 minutes past the hour. Minimum on so whilst these pit stops are cycling
Albert in
through
Ribach is
at the
7.
front of the field,
0.1 behind Jimmy Light.
GTT, because they haven't stopped
Albert
yet.
passed Jimmy Light for
GTT
P6.
Cross, being led by Francorchamps, and very confidently in the number 9. The Lamborghini Huracan, he's got about
Albert
10th
lost
second on
P6
the
to Jimmy
Formula
Light.
Racing BMW.
Mrs.
There's 7
Speeds is
seconds
9.
ahead of 75
0.1 behind SH4NE87.
Less than a tenth ahead of the 2 Ford Multimatic Mustangs that started on the front row. That is the 2 Corvettes by Pratt Miller. That's the Pratt Miller, sorry.
And Lanza in Stabilo is
Alexander
fourth.
Simpson, Tommy Milner.
0.1
Making up the
behind
top 10
Vinny
at
Speeds.
GT Pro, Lauren Heinrich for AO
Issue
Racing
Campus is
Porsche,
P4.
number 77. And Lucas Stoltz for Get Speed Mercedes. Marco Sorensen for Hart Racing Aston Martin in GTD. And it's here from pole position. Wright Motorsports hasn't really managed to pull away from the Forte Racing.
SH4NE87 in Campus is 7. 0.2 behind Albert.
Weird Tiller Racing and Trent Hinman, the 45. Top 6, Daniel Surra from Conquest in the first with the Ferraris. That's the 34 car. Phil Ellis for Winwood Racing.
Andy Esteves in bus stop chicane is P3. 0.3 behind Vinny Speeds.
Ferrari for James Collado is in 6th position. In LMP2, it's PJ Hyatt for AO Racing, despite that brake duct problem earlier on from the Air Forces. Number 88, Luis Perez compact driven car. Salas Rob Matheson in the 52 in second. In third.
SH4NE87 in bus stop chicane is 6. 1.7 ahead of Albert.
And at the top of the shot, the GTPs from pole position has not been headed other than on the pit lane cycle, and that is BMW number 24 for Dries Van Tor. And there's been a bit of a shuffle behind him as we wait for the rest of the cars to
3.9 ahead of Mrs. Speeds.
There was certainly a slightly longer pit stop for one or two of those cars as they came through, and a vibration being
Andy Esteves of Brussels is third, 0.3 behind Vinny Speeds.
Car. He's still in second place from Jack Hinken in third for Cadillac and Whelen. 31 car top. Blomqvist for the second of the Acuras, the number 60 and fourth. Felipe Nasser. Best of the
Vinny
Porsches,
Speeds
number
in
7.
Kohan is P2, 0.2
And
ahead of Andy Esteves.
in sixth
5 minutes
position
remaining in the session.
the GTP
Vinny
grid.
Speeds lost
Remember,
P2
that
to
car
Andy
after failing
Esteves.
to set a time in qualifying.
Andy Esteves
So,
in Fenya is P2, 0.3 behind Brixat.
As we were in terms of order, I think it's the biggest mover there is for Sugar Sheldon van der Linden in that number 25 BMW. Unsurprised to see the BMW Ford forward from the back of the pack, but given that their pace was in qualifying, and Dries Van Tor doing an amazing job at the front of the field. In GTD Pro, well, this is what we were promised, isn't it?
SH4 NE87 in Kohan is 6, 1.5 behind Jimmy Light.
Corvette number 3 there, chasing them down. That is for fourth in class with 365 Ford in fourth, 64 Ford in fifth.
Andy Esteves
And then
is
the
second,
Alexander Simpson
0.1 behind Brixat.
There in sixth in class.
Andy
But it's
Esteves
the
passed
Lamborghini
Brixat
car
on
of
P1.
their debut with Lamborghini, the Lamborghini, as I've seen it being called over the course of
RLO Campus is
very
P9.
they showed great pace through the board, and that has translated here into the race. That's not always the case. Sometimes you can see teams have a very good roar, not a good race, and sometimes the opposite is true as well. But Ford as well has been strong throughout.
SH4 NE87 in Blanchimont is P6, 0.5 behind Jimmy Light.
Team will be very, very comfortable indeed. And I have to spare a little bit of a thought for poor Ben Barker, who I'm sure will be watching at home. He was due to be in one of those factory Fords. He was due to be in the number 64 car alongside Sebastian Brio and Mike Rockefeller, the car that was on pole, but unfortunately broke his
P4.
clavicle skiing, but he is due to be back in Sebring, hopefully, and we wish him well and wish him a speedy recovery as Faf Lamborghini into the pits right now.
As
And
3
number
Dad
9
entering the
from
pits is
the
11.
GTD Pro lead has now made his way to pit lane. A couple of GTD Pro
Jimmy
cars
Light in
have already
Alush is
made this
6,
call. It's getting very busy down
0.5
here.
behind
Full
SH4
machinery, but,
NE87.
no driver change here. It's going to be for new Michelin tires. A bit of a delay here at the left front. They can't seem to get this tire to come off. It seems to be stuck at the moment. Right sides are already done. So fuel's still going in. They've got a couple of seconds to work with. But at the moment, this is one of those eras that you just have to expect at some point over the course of 24 hours. It can't always be perfect. And this stop by far from the race lead is certainly not perfect.
This
Cameras
is
going out
Speeds
over
in
the wall
Radion
right
is
now
8.
for Faf Motorsports as other GTD cars are going to be able to get around them.
Thank you, Jamie. Jamie Howe in the pit lane, returning after 5 years to RS2. Give us a radio. It's Johnny Palmer taking over for the next segment, with Peter Mackay remaining in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre. But a key point in the race for these GT cars, whether they be a GTD Pro or indeed just a GT Daytona.
Jimmy Light is P6,
120 car of
3.0 behind SH4
in and back out
NE87.
again. But there's a big problem on the number 9 Lamborghini. Jamie, you've already described some of it, and it's still ongoing.
It's just getting worse and worse. They're trying again with the air gun to see if they could possibly get that hub to come off. The hammer's gone out over the wall, trying to chisel it off of that wheel, and it's just not working out. Looks like they might be getting some movement to it at this point in time. It's just detrimental, this opening stint of this race, doing
RLO
so well
in
in
Kohan on lap 3 is 9.
to get to the lead in GTD Pro. That's Michelin tire now off, so they can get to work. But gosh, the first pit stop of many to come. Hate for this to be a sign of what to expect.
Yeah, because the issue issue is potentially going to get worse and worse through the course of a long race, and generally, when you've got a potentially wear car like that, it's going to get hotter, it's going to get potentially binding, and how are they going to address that, P-Mac?
4.6 ahead of SH4
On every stop, the
NE87.
stop's happening about, what, once an hour or so, so Thomas is going to come back in and he might be in a very different stage.
This is well, we saw a similar issue cost Polar Racing the victory in GTD Pro last year with the #1 car. They had a hub issue very late in the race though, but at the first pit stop for FAF, this is what 24-hour racing can be about though. You can be super quick in practice, you can be super
Mrs.
quick in that
Speeds in
opening
Corby
stint,
Paul
but
Frere is PA.
you need everything to go perfect, and that is, yeah, far from perfect. Hopefully it's an issue that has been resolved, able to keep a watch on it, and it won't hold them up again, but who knows. Maro Engel, number 75, leading the race.
Colbert and La Source on lap 5 is P7.
Race, just ahead of Dan Harper. Both Lexus into the pits, one in GTD Pro, that's the 14 car ahead, and one in GTD car 12. At the moment, there appear to be any tires going on just for those two Lexuses, Johnny.
Let's get to two reports then from CrowdStrike. First of all, Jamie Howe at the 48
Jimmy Likely calls this
getting away a
6.
moment or two ago from second place in GTD Pro.
And they have just entered pit lane, and now it's one of the early pit stops here and there, right into their box. And I was listening in on the radio, they're being told that this will be a fuel-only pit stop for this team, so no driver change and no tires either. They did go ahead and lift the car up on the jacks. If you happen to see it in a camera shot somewhere, that's just to inspect the car. They were to inspect those tires, but also use a little easier to clean the grill out of the car off the ground. So there is some debris, a lot of tire debris in the grill of this BMW with racing. So the track's pretty dirty, it would seem, but so far, no tire change, fuel only is the lead stop.
Leader has just finished the race. Andy Estes has finished first. Benny Speeds finished P2. Rick Sat finished third. SH4 NE87 is P4.
To solve whatever this mystery issue may or may not be. There's pointing, there's waving. I'm not in any way saying that's in any way kind of random pointing or waving. It's just like, what's the problem? A man just kind of briefly circled the rear damper with his hand, so it sounds like they're looking for perhaps a handling imbalance. Looking to see if anything was loose. Nothing appeared to be loose, so they've now put the cover back on again. They've been in for some time, must have lost at least a lap just sitting here looking at stuff. Haven't got the rear deck on yet. They've got the engine cover on, the rear deck of the Lamborghini S6, about to move it into position. And they have had a long look, but they have done nothing, Johnny.
Well, that, again, is not going to give them too much confidence when they know that there's a problem, thank you, Nick, but they don't necessarily know where to attack the car and how to diagnose it. So two CrowdStrike pit reports there, Jamie Howe and Nick Damon, for this, the second hour, officially ticking over now into hour 2 of the Rolex 24 for 2025. And it's live coverage, as always, on RS2 IMSA Radio with a Dries Vanthoor driven BMW leading the way. Done 36 laps now and a 13-second lead, 1-3 over Nick Yellerly in not a BMW. He switched to Acura over the winter period. The number 93 car running in second place ahead of the Cadillac V-Series R of Jack Aitken. Let's get back to Nick Damon with a CrowdStrike pit report. Lamborghini not going to go much further. For the time being,
not much further in the race for a while, because they kind of got the thing running again. It ran about only about 20 metres or 20 yards, and it went behind the walls. That's our first major problem for any car, and it's one of the GTP machines. It's the Lamborghini behind the wall to try and work out what this mystery issue is.
So car 63, which grabbed the headlines for all the wrong reasons in the qualifying session when Mirko Bortolotti was qualifying that on Thursday. and came to blows with one of the Acuras, complaining that, well, Tom Blomqvist was getting in my way on just about the only quick lap that I had within that. Very, very busy through the tri-oval with a whole load of GT cars heading down towards turn 1. In amongst that, the Mercedes of Kenny Habul in the gold livery. He's also got with him the white number 91 Chevy Corvette being driven by Connor Zilic. The class is led at the moment by the 48 BMW Dan Harper. It had been 2 Ford Mustangs from the off, the 64-65 combination, but Dan Harper clearly, P-Mac, got a good pit stop there in the 48 car and is now out front in GTD Pro.
He's just impressing so much here as young Dan Harper, winner of the Dubai 24 Hours on debut for this new BMW M4 GT3 Evo, and this is his IMSA debut, don't forget, and he's looking like he's been here for years. A perfect stint to start. Great pit stop by the Paul Miller Racing crew, who are running 2 cars now. Previously only had 1, but 2 BMW M4 GT3 Evos. So they're having to get their hands on it. Okay, it's an Evolve package. It's not a brand new package, but it's an Evolve package, and they've run really, really strongly so far in this race. But only a couple of seconds behind, they have the 2 Fords of Rockefeller in the 64 and Vervies in the 65. But not such a good stop though for the 75 Express Mercedes. They were running up in the podium spots, and they've dropped back to 8th, and in fact under a lot of pressure from the charging 007 Aston Martin for Heart of Racing by Marco Sorensen, who's just squeaked past the 91 Corvette of Connor Zilic to move up into 9th, and Sorensen's really got the pit between his teeth. He's right under the rear wing here of Maro Engel in that 75 Express Mercedes, that bright orange machine with the flames at the front as they come through the tri-oval. Then the 007 of Marco Sorensen moves through then to go into 8th position. He goes past Kenny Habul, excuse me, it was Maro Engel in the first stint, so they've done a driver change. So Kenny Habul, number 75, is now under the wheel of that car. So single stint for Maro Engel.
Gap to the race leader, Dries Van Tor, has opened up a little further. It's now 13.5 seconds. That is because Nick Yellerly is well aware of the 3rd place car, which is the number 31 red Cadillac, the car with the Wheeland sponsorship, run by Action Express, and Jack Aitken, the British driver, 1.5 seconds off his fellow British. In fact, there's 3 from the UK there together on the timing screen. 2nd, 3rd and 4th with Tom Blomqvist in the 60 Acura. Then the first of the Porsche Penske Motorsport 963s, Felipe Nasr driving the 7. And Sheldon van der Linde has charged his way through from the back of the GTP field to now run in 6th position. So if you're a BMW fan, will have been a long wait since the last overall win here at Daytona. They've only ever done it once, and that was when the top class was GT based, and very nearly 50 years ago, 1976 in fact, the last time we had a BMW on top of the overall podium here in Florida. Cadillac will have one strong car in this case, all the others just keeping their powder dry. The 10 driven by Felipe Albuquerque, which is one of the Wayne Taylor Racing entries. That's in 9th place, and then Louis Delatraz in the 40 car. Remember, that was meant to be a 4-driver lineup with Alex Lynn, but he suffering from a virus, not able to be at the Raw, not able to be here this weekend either. So the 40 car now with the 3 drivers side by side, again in GT, right behind Kenny Habul's Mercedes. It's the 91 and the number 1 of Chevy Corvette and Connor Zilic, with Madison Snow alongside. Snow did not get by, however the Corvette gained a place there and got in front of Kenny Habul for 9th position.
Just a tiny little error there from Kenny Habul. It's so difficult on the brakes. You know, Brembo have told us that the turn 1 is the most difficult part on the brakes, and he just ran a little bit wide, and Connor Zilic, he said, yes, I'm going through, and Madison Snow has taken advantage as well. But for Kenny Habul, he's you know, he's up there with the GTD Pro guys. He is an FIA bronze graded driver, but he loves racing against the pros. He's won the Bathurst 12-hour before, so you know, in fact he's run it twice overall, so he knows how to mix it with the pros. But his job is to keep that car on the lead lap and then hand back over to his co-drivers Michael Grenier and Maro Engel. He's got 2 hours of minimum drive time. I'm sure he'll do much more than that, but that's what he's going to look at right now. Keep it clean, don't get in any silly battles, don't hold yourself up, keep things smooth, because I think that 75 Express Mercedes AMG has got good pace, and the Mercedes AMG has won a lot of Rolex watches over the last 4 or 5 years.
Gap to the race leader down a little bit now because they're dealing with traffic on the 40th lap. So Belgian Dries van Tor not exactly being wary about Nick Yellerly in his mirrors, but the team will be keeping him up to date to say you've lost about 3 seconds. Then again, that extends once more, and this is the natural switching, sliding through the traffic depending on how well you deal with it and also where you find it on normally an open racetrack. But if you find a huge gaggle of GT cars and you turn it left through turn number 1, who knows what might happen, because you're first of all relying on all those GT drivers that are embroiled in their own scraps for knowing that there's a quick GTP car wanting to get through in a hurry. You can't force the issue though, because it's so easy just to go into one of those bends and clip a dive plane, and then that will be perilous for the rest of certainly the stint, and that assumes that the team's got the relevant part ready for you the next time you stop anyway.
And when they're braking into turn 1, a GTD car will be heading the brakes at about 175 miles an hour. GTP car will be getting closer to 200. Won't quite go over 200, but getting close to it. But when they apex turn 1, the GTD car will be down to 65 miles an hour. GTP is there between 80 and 90.
Yeah.
So it's managing those speeds. That's what they're having to do to get through. And everybody's in their own race. 61 cars out there, and 27 in GTD alone. That's not including the GTD Pros. So it's a busy old track out there, especially if you're in a top-level prototype like a GTP car.
Pulling through the gears, the 57 now up onto the high banks, which is the Mercedes. So that's
Windward.
Windward, yes, it sounded like a Windward car. It was just that we covered a 57 Windward in yesterday's race as well, and I didn't want to misremember. It's so easy to do that, having covered the BMW M Endurance 4-hour race, the opener to the 2025 IMSA Pilot Challenge. Michelin Pilot Challenge yesterday. That turned into an absolute barnstormer, but it was a slow boiler, wasn't it? The first few hours there was a lot of yellow, there was a lot of people trying to get into a rhythm but not quite getting there, but then our patience was rewarded with that final 40 minutes or so. Is that going to be a precursor to this race perhaps, as things are going rather nicely for 1 or 2, but Daytona just has a habit of building a grandstand finish.
Issue for one of our front-running GTD Pro cars, the 77 AO Racing Porsche, has had to come into the pits. That is very much out of sequence. Last pitted on lap 33 for that car, so yeah, it's only been out for 4 laps.
Let's get to Nick Damon then with the CrowdStrike pit report on this car.
Yeah, the car, there wasn't a huge build-up to it, because I was actually in the back of their pits about a minute ago, and then suddenly this car's coming. This car, of course, which is the champion from last year in the IMSA Championship. They're sitting there, I think they're currently, just go to the back of the car, they're not really working particularly heavily on it. I think they're refueling it while they can, but not a stop that was planned, but they've done something, and then they decided they put fuel in. Now I'm wondering whether, again, we've had a couple of overheating issues. I wonder whether there's another one there where they've just got something in the brake ducts and wanted to sort it out. I'll go and ask someone. It's probably the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, but you just left there, hadn't you? And they walked away, and they've got to walk all the way back.
I know.
But,
it's a free
the
workout,
perils.
this pit lane job, you know. Just when you think you can go somewhere else, no, come back now.
Yeah, there was always going to be one downside to being a CrowdStrike pit lane reporter, I suppose, but there are 99 reasons to be at that level. A chance to describe to you the problems on the front of the FAF Lamborghini at its first stop. It was almost hammer and chisel time on the front left corner, because the central locking wheel nut just would not shift. Advice being given left, right and centre to the poor mechanic that actually had the wheel gun, and eventually it did release. But as Jamie Howe mentioned, is that going to be a sticking problem for the rest of the race?
Is active.
Unless you change that up, it's going to be there.
PT Wisdom in bus stop chicane is first.
Certainly for the next few hours, they'll be desperate for it to get very, very chilly though, right? So that there's prolonged stops when we get to the evening hours.
If it isn't, that car is still there. It's got really good speed, really good speed, but for the other Lamborghini, the prototype, the number 63, SC63, is in the garage and doesn't look like it's going to be going anywhere soon. It's got a ton of Riley mechanics, Lamborghini mechanics all around it, and for Mirko Bortolotti, Roman Grosjean, Daniel Kvyat and Eduardo Mortara, a real all-star lineup, you have to say. Many of them, it looks like either guys going to be waiting a while to get into the car or jump at all. So, I mean, to happen so early in the race is such a disappointment. They've got to remember the team.
Cebus 03 in Brussels is 12. Davito Dorito in bus stop chicane is 8. In Brussels is 5th. Best lap is a 3:13.024. The qualification session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Snap Undersmeer in La Source is 2nd. Odizes in Kennel Straight is P6. 'X in La Source is P16. Lauren is 14th. Best lap is a 2:38.655. Five minutes remaining in the session. DP Wisdom is up 1.38 in Radeon. P19 in Les Combes. Beefy Wisdom is up 0.99 in Pohon. Beefy Wisdom is up 1.30 in Stabilo. Beefy Wisdom improved his P1 with a 236.870. Joe Schmo in Blanchimont is P5 up 2.22. Joe Schmo improved his 6th with a 250.004. 13.134 off pole. Garden bus stop chicane is P8. The race session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Beefy Wisdom is first. Tunanacross is second. Andy Estevez is third. Race start. Beefy Wisdom is P1. Andy Estevez in La Source is P3. In Radillon is fourth. Joe Schmo in Kemmel Straight is P7. 2016 in Les Combes is 14. VG in Rivage is 13. VG is now P12. Andy Estevez in Pohon is P3. Andy Estevez is now P2. Tunanacross in Fanion is P3. 10 minutes remaining in the session. And Lanza in Campus is P11 battling with Ethan Rico. And 7 to Sivas 03. BP Wisdom in Francorchamps is third, 0.3 behind Tumanakros. Apex.X and bus stop chicane on lap 1 is P4, 0.4 behind BP Wisdom. Snap under steer. Snap under steer in loss source is P8. Best lap is a 2:52.945. 12.235 off the fastest lap. Snap under steer is now 7th. Snap under steer past Sea Gully for 6th. Sea Gully in Radion is P7, 0.1 behind Snap under steer. Sea Gully lost 8th to car. BP Wisdom in Lake Home is P3, 0.4 behind Tumanakros. Is P13, 0.3 behind Sivas 03. TT Racer 2016 in Wuhan is P6, 0.5 behind Joshua. TT Racer 2016 past Joshua. Joshua in Fenya is P6, 0.2 behind TT Racer 2016. Tumanakros in Francorchamps on lap 2 is third, 0.2 behind BP Wisdom. Sivas 03 in Campus is 13, 0.2 behind Odysseus. BP Wisdom is P3. Best lap is a 2:36.860. 0.157 off the fastest lap. Sea Gully in bus stop chicane is P9, 3.8 behind car. BP Wisdom is third, 0.3 behind Tumanakros. Apex.X in Lake Home is 4, 0.5 behind BP Wisdom. Joshua in Kemmel Strait is P8, 0.4 behind car. Joshua past car for P7. in Radion is 13, 0.3 behind Sea Gully. Sea Gully was 0.7 faster last lap. Snap understeer is 6, 0.5 behind TT Racer 2016. TT Racer 2016 was 1.6 faster last lap. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Wisdom in Corby Palfrere on lap 3 is third, 0.6 behind Tunanakrost. Snap Understeer in Stabilo is P6, 0.4 behind TT Racer 2016. Snap Understeer in Bus Stop Chicane is 6th, 0.4 behind TT Racer 2016. Beefy Wisdom in Kemmel Straight is third, 0.6 behind Tunanakrost. Tunanakrost in Brussels is second, 0.5 behind Andy Esteves. La Source is 12. Best lap is a 2:52.363. 15.660 off the fastest lap. Snap Understeer is 6th, 0.3 behind TT Racer 2016. Sea Gully is 15th battling Space Dog. Sea Gully passed Space Dog for 14. Tunanakrost in 4B Palfrere is third, 0.4 behind Beefy Wisdom. Wisdom in Bus Stop Chicane is P2, 0.5 behind Andy Esteves. Tunanakrost is third. Best lap is a 2:36.922. 0.219 off the fastest lap. Is P10, 0.5 behind Davide Garrido. Joshua in Bus Stop Chicane is 7th, 2.7 ahead of Gar. Wisdom in Lake Home is second, 0.2 ahead of Tunanakrost. Tunanakrost in Brussels is P3, 0.3 behind Beefy Wisdom. Beefy Wisdom was 0.7 faster last lap. Wisdom is second, 0.3 behind Andy Esteves. Tunanakrost is P3, 0.3 behind Beefy Wisdom. Understeer TT Racer 2016. Gar on lap 5 is P8, 0.5 behind Joe Schmo. Finished P3. Apex.X finished 4th. Gar is P8. Odizes is 9th. Announcer bot is active. Riksat in Radion is first. Kalmbert in Eau Rouge is P2. RLO in La Source is fourth. BG is P5. RLO in Brussels is P4. Riksat is first. Best lap is a 2:28.415. Jimmy Like in Blanchimont is third. Ish in Blanchimont is sixth. Minutes remaining in the session. Jimmy Like is P6. The qualification session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Vinny Speeds in La Source is fourth. Calmberg in Kemmel Straight is P4. RLO in Brussels is 7th. Brixat in Stabilo is first. BG in Puhan is 10th. Jimmy Light is P1. Jimmy Light is up 4.80 in Kemmel Straight. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Brixat is P2. Brixat is up 2.25 in Lacombe. Brixat is up 2.46 in Puhan. Jimmy Light in Fenya is first up 6.26. Jimmy Light is up 6.20 in Blanchimont. Jimmy Light improved his first with a 2:25.476. The race session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Jimmy Light is first. Brixat is P2. Calmberg is P3. Race start. Jimmy Light is P1. Brixat in La Source is 9. SH4NE87 in Radillon is P5. Jimmy Light in Kemmel Straight is P6. Jimmy Light passed Kalmbert for 5th. Mrs. Speeds in Malmedy is P7. Mrs. Speeds lost P7 to car. RLO entering the pits is 10th. Mrs. Speeds passed car for 7th. Brixat in Pulhan is P3. Brixat lost P4 to Jimmy Light. Brixat lost P5 to Kalmbert. Gar in Pulhan is P9. Gar passed PG for 8th. Jimmy Light in Corby Paul Frere is 3rd. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Gar in Corby Paul Frere is P8, 0.4 behind Brixat. Gar passed Brixat for P7. Gar passed Mrs. Speeds for P6. Mrs. Speeds is P8, 0.1 behind Brixat. Mrs. Speeds passed Brixat for 7th. SH4NE87 in Radillon is P3, 0.5 behind Jimmy Light. Brixat entering the pits is P9. SH4NE87 passed Jimmy Light for P2. Mrs. Speeds is P7. SH4NE87 in Rivage on lap 2 is P3, 0.2 behind Jimmy Light. SH4NE87 passed Jimmy Light for 2nd. Jimmy Light is P3, 0.5 behind SH4NE87. Ish in Campus is P4. Ish lost P4 to Kalmbert. Jimmy Light in bus stop chicane is P3, 1.2 behind SH4NE87. Brixat in Corby Paul Frere is P8, 0.4 behind Mrs. Speeds. Gar in bus stop chicane is 6th. SH4NE87 in Malmedy is P2, 1.7 ahead of Jimmy Light. BG is P9. Ricksat in Rivac is 7. Best lap is a 2:23.523. 13.140 off the fastest lap. Vinny speeds in bus stop chicane is P1. Ishing 4B Paulfrere is P5, 0.4 behind Kalmberg. Kalmberg was 9.0 faster last lap. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Jimmy Light is third, 3.8 behind SH4NE87. Is P5, 1.7 behind Kalmberg. SH4NE87 is second. RLO on lap 3 is 9. Gar in campus is 6th. Best lap is a 2:23.462. 13.079 off the fastest lap. Ricksat in Scavolo is 7, 0.5 behind Gar. Ricksat passed Gar for 6th. Gar in Blanchimont is 7, 0.1 behind Ricksat. Jimmy Light in Lacombe is P3. Ishin Malmedy is P5, 4.7 behind Kalmbert. Kalmbert in Fenya is 4th. SH4NE87 in La Source is P2. Jimmy Light is P3. BG in Brussels is P9. Best lap is a 2:28.865. 18.482 off the fastest lap. BG passed RLO for P8. In La Source on lap 6 is 6th. The leader has just finished the race. Vinny Speeds finished first. SH4NE87 finished P2. RLO finished P8. Ish is P4. Announcer bot is active. The qualification session is at Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. C Gully in Radillon is P3. Snap understeer in Eau Rouge is P10. Andy Estevez in Lacombe is P10. Vito Dorigo in Fania is P7. Space Dog in Blanchimont is P6. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Beefy Wisdom in La Source is first. Beefy Wisdom is up 14.74 in Kemmel Straight. Beefy Wisdom is up 17.06 in Rivage. Beefy Wisdom is up 24.91 in Fania. Beefy Wisdom is up 25.61 in Blanchimont. Beefy Wisdom improved is P1 with a 207.673. Sivas 03 in Bus Stop Chicane is P5. Apex.X in Bus Stop Chicane is third. Apex.X improved is P3 with a 213.697. 6.024 off pole. Space Dog is P10 up 19.38. Space Dog Improved is 5th with a 2:31.190. 23.517 off pole. Beefy Wisdom in Brussels is first up 0.64. Beefy Wisdom is up 0.07 in Fanya. Beefy Wisdom is up 0.41 in Blanchimont. Tunanakrust in bus stop chicane is second. Apex.x is P4 up 2.39. Apex.x Improved is P3 with a 2:10.665. 2.992 off pole. And Lanza is P4 up 0.75. Sivas 03 in bus stop chicane is P10. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Andy Estevez is 8th up 9.99. Beefy Wisdom is P1 up 1.25. Beefy Wisdom is up 1.75 in Stavolo. The race session is at Spa Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Seagully is first. Beefy Wisdom is P2. And Lanza is P3. Race start. Seagully is P1. Snap Understeer is P4. Andy Estevez is 5th. Andy Estevez is now P6. Apex.x in Lacombe is P7. Andy Estevez in Brussels is 6th. Apex.x in Kohan is P6. Apex.x is now P5. Andy Estevez in Campus is 6th. Andy lost P6 to Bettine.ncf. Davide Dorigo is P9. Minutes remaining in the session. BP Wisdom in bus stop chicane is P3, 0.5 behind N Lanza. BP Wisdom is now P2. Tunanacross is P5, 0.3 behind Apex.x. C Gully in La Source is 7th. Best lap is a 2:25.024. 12.529 off the fastest lap. Joe Schmo in Radion is 7th, 0.4 behind C Gully. Joe Schmo lost 7th to Davide Dorigo. Apex.x in Malmedy is 5th, 0.3 behind Tunanacross. Davide Dorigo in Malmedy is P8, 0.7 behind Bettine.ncf. In Rivage is 11, 0.3 behind Joe Schmo. Andy Estevez is now 10th. Tunanacross is 4th, 0.4 behind Snap Understeer. Andy Estevez is 11th, 0.3 behind Bettine.ncf. Andy Estevez is now P10. Snap Understeer in bus stop chicane is 4th. Sivas 03 in bus stop chicane is 7th, 1.3 ahead of Davide Dorigo. Sivas 03 lost 8th to Bettine.ncf. Andy Estevez on lap 3 is P10, 0.1 behind Sivas 03. Andy Estevez passed Sivas 03 for 9. Understeer is 4th, 0.7 behind Tunanacross. Bettine.ncf in Malmedy is 8th, 0.3 behind Davide Dorigo. Bettine.ncf passed Davide Dorigo for 7th. Apex.x is P5, 3.1 behind Snap Understeer. Sea Gully in bus stop chicane is 6. Five minutes remaining in the session. Joe Schmo is P12. Joe Schmo is now P11. Tunanakrust is third, 0.5 behind N. Lanza. Apex.X in Campus is 5th, 0.6 behind Snap Understeer. Tunanakrust in Blanchimont is 3rd, 0.3 behind N. Lanza. Snap Understeer on lap 4 is P5, 0.4 behind Apex.X. Tunanakrust in La Source is P3, 0.2 behind N. Lanza. Tunanakrust was 2.3 faster last lap. Andy Estevez exiting pits. Snap Understeer on lap 5 is 5th, 0.1 behind Apex.X. Tunanakrust is P3, 0.2 behind N. Lanza. Tunanakrust passed N. Lanza for second. N. Lanza in Rivage is third, 0.2 behind Tunanakrust. Apex.X in Brussels is P5, 0.2 behind Snap Understeer. N. Lanza in Fania is third, 0.4 behind Tunanakrust. Sivas 03 in Lacombe is P9. Best lap is a 2:19.372. 11.987 off the fastest lap. Sivas 03 passed Davido Dorito for P8. Sivas 03 lost P8 to Davido Dorito. Tunanakrust is third, 0.3 behind N. Lanza. Lanza in Camel Straight is third. N. Lanza passed Tunanakrust for P2. Bettine.ncf in Bus Stop Chicane is 7. Davido Dorigo is P8. Sivas 03 exiting pits. Tunanacrust is third, 0.4 behind Lanza. The leader has just finished the race. Beefy Wisdom finished first. Lanza finished second. Tunanacrust finished third. Joe Schmo finished 10th. Snap Understeer finished 4th. Apex.x finished 5th. Lauren is 11th. Announcer bot is active. The qualification session is at Spa Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Mrs. Speeds is P7. Ish in Brussels is first. Calmvert in Kemmel Strait is P7. Ish in Blanchimont is first. Five minutes remaining in the session. Vinny Speeds in La Source is P1. Vinny Speeds is up 3.81 in Kemmel Strait. Vinny Speeds is up 3.70 in Rivage. Vinny Speeds is up 4.07 in Kohan. Vinny Speeds is up 2.33 in Stavolo. Vinny Speeds improved is first with a 2:18.868. SH4NE87 is P4 up 12.23. SH4NE87 improved is second with a 2:25.083. 6.215 off pole. Andy Estevez in Blanchimont is P5 up 17.31. The race session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Vinny Speeds is first. SH4NE87 is second. Race start. Vinny Speeds is P1. Source is P3. Albert and Radion is fifth. Straight is P9. Albert and Rivache is third. Albert lost P3 to Jimmy Light. PG is 7th. PG passed Mrs. Speeds for P6. Andy Estevez in Kohan is P8. Andy Estevez passed Mrs. Speeds for P7. PG in Campus is P6. Ten minutes remaining in the session. PG lost P7 to Mrs. Speeds. Jimmy Light and Blanchimont is third, 0.3 behind Ish. Jimmy Light passed Ish for second. Andy Estevez in bus stop chicane on lap 1 is P6, 0.2 behind Albert. Andy Estevez is now P4. SH4NE87 in La Source is third, 0.5 behind Ish. SH4NE87 passed Ish for second. Mrs. Speeds in La Source is P7, 1.4 behind Jimmy Light. Mrs. Speeds lost P7 to Car. PG is P10, 0.5 behind RLO. PG passed RLO for 9. PG lost P9 to RLO. RLO in Radion is 10. In Lake Holmes is P10 battling RLO. Mrs. Speeds in Fenya is 8th. Ishin bus stop chicane is P4, 1.5 behind Andy Estevez. Ish lost P4 to Hallward. Ish lost 5th to Jimmy Light. Gar in La Source is P7, 1.1 behind Ish. RLO in bus stop chicane is P10, 0.1 behind BG. Malmedy on lap 3 is 6, 0.5 behind Jimmy White. Mrs. Speeds in Kemmel Straight is 10th, 0.1 behind RLO. SH4 ND87 is 3rd, 0.1 behind ND Estevez. RLO is 9th. Best lap is a 2:29.769. 12.843 off the fastest lap. RLO passed BG for 85 minutes remaining in the session. SH4 NE87 in bus stop chicane is 3rd, 0.5 behind Andy Estevez. SH4 NE87 passed Andy Estevez for P2. SH4 NE87 lost P2 to Andy Estevez. Andy Estevez on lap 4 is P3, 0.2 behind SH4 NE87. SH4 NE87 in Lake Home is 3rd battling Andy Estevez. Ishin Kemmel Straight is 6th, 0.4 behind Jimmy Light. Ish passed Jimmy Light for 5th. Jimmy Light in Lake Home is 6th, 0.5 behind Ish. Gar in Brussels is 7th, 0.5 behind Jimmy Light. Gar was 2.1 faster last lap. Jimmy Light in Campus is P6, 1.1 ahead of Gar. Light lost 6th to Gar. Ishin Blanchimont is P5. Garden bus stop chicane is 7. Car entering the pits is 7. RLO is P8. Car exiting pits. Jimmy Lighton Lake home is 6. 0.5 behind Ish. Ish was 3.0 faster last lap. Garden Lake home is 7. Jimmy Lighting Campus is 6. 3.1 behind Ish. SH4NE87 in Radion is 3rd. RLO is P8. Light is 6. 1.0 behind Ish. Just finished the race. Vinny Speeds finished P1. Andy Estevez finished P2. SH4NE87 finished 3rd. Ish is 4th. Announcer bot is active. The qualification session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Space Dog in Brussels is A. Tunanacrust in bus stop chicane is first. Tunanacrust is up 1.83 in Radillon. Tunanacrust is up 2.64 in Malmedy. Tunanacrust is up 2.97 in Pohon. Tunanacrust is up 3.55 in Stabilo. Tunanacrust improved is P1 with a 220.493. Andy Estevez in Blanchimont is P4 up 14.95. Snap understeer is provisional pole with a 218.379. Andy Estevez is provisional pole with a 217.774. Beefy Wisdom and bus stop chicane is P8. Beefy Wisdom improved is P7 with a 243.246. 25.472 off pole. The qualifying session is now in overtime. The race session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. Andy Estevez is P1. Snap understeer is second. Race start. Car in La Source is third. Understeer in Kemmels Snap understeer is now 4th. Space Dog in Ribach is P6. Space Dog is now 5th. Space Dog lost P9 to BG. Snap understeer is 5th. Campus is P8. BG in campus is 12. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Cebus 03 is P5, 0.1 behind Tunanakrost. Cebus 03 passed Tunanakrost for P4. BP Wisdom is 7, 0.3 behind Seagull. Seagully in La Source is 7th, 0.1 ahead of Bettine.ncf. Seagully lost P7 to Bettine.ncf. Seagully lost P8 to Andy Esteves. Tunanakrost Villecombe on lap 2 is 5th, 0.1 behind BP Wisdom. Snap understeer is P3, 0.5 behind Lanza. Tunanakrost in Fanya is 5th, 0.8 behind BP Wisdom. Understeer in bus stop chicane on lap 2 is 3rd, 1.1 behind N. Lanza. BP Wisdom in bus stop chicane is P4, 0.2 ahead of Tunanakrost. BP Wisdom lost P4 to Tunanakrost. Cebus 03 in bus stop chicane on lap 2 is P8, 0.1 ahead of Seagully. Cebus 03 lost 9 to car. BG in bus stop chicane is P11 battling Cebus 03. Snap understeer in Brussels is 3rd, 0.4 behind N. Lanza. NCF. Snap understeer is third, 0.5 behind N Lanza. Andy Estevez in Fania on lap 3 is P7, 0.3 behind Patin.ncf. Snap understeer in bus stop chicane is third, 0.5 behind N Lanza. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Andy Estevez in Francorchamps is 7th, 0.1 behind Patin.ncf. Snap understeer is third, 0.3 behind N Lanza. Beefy Wisdom passed Tunanakrust for fourth. Tunanakrust in Kemmel Straight is fifth, 0.1 behind Beefy Wisdom. Tunanakrust passed Beefy Wisdom for fourth. Tunanakrust lost P4 to Beefy Wisdom. N Lanza is P3, 0.5 behind Snap understeer. Tunanakrust is 5th, 0.3 behind Beefy Wisdom. Andy Estevez on lap 47 battling Patin.ncf. Ribach is P11, 0.2 behind Sebas 03. Sebas 03 was 0.9 faster last lap. Patin.ncf is 7th, 0.3 behind Andy Estevez. Gar in Campus is 9th. Andy Estevez in bus stop chicane is P7, 1.2 behind Patin.ncf. Andy Estevez lost P7 to C Gully. Andy Estevez lost P8 to Gar. Snap understeer in Malmedy is P3, 1.4 behind N Lanza. Sebas 03 is 10th, 1.2 behind Andy Estevez. Sebas 03 was 29.9 faster last lap. Car in Brussels is P8. Apex.X is P1, 3.7 ahead of M2. Snap understeer is P3. Best lap is a 2:15.676. 0.769 off the fastest lap. Apex.X in Stablo is P1. Best lap is a 2:14.907. Car in Malmedy is P8, 4.9 ahead of Andy Escobar. Just finished the race. Apex.X finished first. And Lanza finished P2. Snap understeer finished third.